So this is a first impressions video of TOG II, just showing the crew that I've got. So I've got Sixth Sense, Born Leader, Rapid Loading, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Situation Awareness, and Camouflage Expertise. This is my sort of one of the best two British crews. So I thought I'd put one of my better crews in TOG to give it a go. So this is the first battle on Port. Quite a good map for TOG. Usually in this situation I would go down the A line and go into the town, but since it's encounter, I'm concerned that the enemy team will just try and cap, and I won't have an opportunity to relocate to stop the cap, so heading towards the cap circle. As you can see on the left, we've got an admirer there just looking at TOG. You do get that quite often. People just look at it. It's just so long, it's so ridiculous. But yeah, it was, don't know if you know the history of it. The Tank Museum, they've got a good video on it on their YouTube channel. It essentially designed if World War II ended up like World War I. So it was designed across trenches and keep up with the infantry. That's why it's so slow and long. So slowly getting into position. As usual with TOG, I'm concerned about the battle going away from me. So yeah, I'm just trying to get into positions as fast as the tank could let me. So I decided to go down here. I'm thinking I can just use the buildings. I know that there'll probably be tanks crossing up underneath that overpass. So I'm just angling and angle nicely against the frostbite. So I was expecting quite a few enemy tanks to come along there. That's why I was angled like this. This is what TOG's really good at. If you're looking for something fairly low tier to practice side scraping, I suppose you could get this. I would probably recommend you get the Churchill 3 though. The Churchill 3 is a bit more mobile than this, and that will help you with the Churchill line as well. So this one is a bit of a strange tank really. It's got a really good gun. I really do like the gun. It's so slow and such a big target. But back to this one. So the frostbite turned its attention to my allies. It seems to have forgotten about me. Just fire that round in a little slow. Left on 9 hit points. I feel that by looking at the minimap, it looks like a lot of their team are still in their side of the map. So I'm thinking if anyone did actually go underneath that overpass where I'm expecting, I should have been lit up by now. So I'm feeling fairly confident that there's nothing really over there. Just coming around this corner now. Again, I'm just trying to come here just to get in between the enemy team and the cap. The enemy team, obviously, with us capping with less than a minute to go, they'll be focusing on the cap. So I'm hoping if I go here, I may be able to draw some of the attention. Firstly, to help my allies, but secondly, just to give myself some targets. I'm hoping that they'll come to me. I think we lose someone off the cap, which is, I mean, it's never good to lose an ally, but I'm a bit concerned that we would cap out and end up with about 250 damage, which isn't good. So just auto-locking onto these tanks now. Putting shots into the lower plate. This BK-3601. So yeah, as you can see the rate of fire, very confident just to stay there and know that I'm going to beat his reload. KV-85, just angling nicely for it. Looks like with the gunner being taken out, he was actually aiming for the turret. So an interesting thing with TOG is you'll see it in the last replay, but when you auto-lock onto people, the camera sort of centres around the centre of the tank, so you can actually fire round corners where you may not think you can, and vice versa. The enemy team, when they auto-lock you, they'll auto-lock to your centre of mass. So your turret can be around the corner almost, and if they're still auto-locking, they'll hit the corner. But we just essentially YOLO that tank, get some damage. In TOG, I always aim for fire for effect, which is the ribbon you get for dealing your damage, or dealing your hit points as damage. So we get it on that one, get the MVP as well, which is great in TOG. Just a second class with that one to really get sort of first class or ace. I feel as though everything would need to fall in your favour. And with that one, I think it was quite a fast game. Couldn't keep up with it. But on this one, as you can see, we're sort of 4.5 minutes in. We're down 9-3, 8-3 now. I initially tried to cross the bridge, got to the other side, knowing the tanks, decided to come back. Our team had collapsed. I think it was down the ice road, they just collapsed. So I decided to come back, hoping that this would happen, that the enemy would be flooding round. Primarily for me to defend the base as well. So as you can see, it can get the damage out. It's just auto-locking, holding R2 down. Can't really do anything about it. It's a really good gun. I know you may have seen some videos about it and sort of jokes about TOG II. But if you can put up with a slow speed and put up with being such a big target, particularly for artillery, I think you'd really enjoy the gun. As I said, as you can see, it's fast firing, it's got quite good damage, very good penetration. And in this video you'll see after, in a minute, the next tank that comes up is the Absolution, and I'm able just to R1, R2 it. So our friendly Cromwell goes in, he's on very low health, onto the Firefox that was there, and there's that Absolution. So yeah, just R1, R2, and it's just going through. Standard ammunition. It shuts us down though. I'm not too sure, I can't remember this battle, what the Absolution was doing. You'll see that with some tanks, Absolutions, Panzer 5.4s, that a lot of people, they'll just sort of camp their base, and then at the end of the game they'll come out and get loads of easy kills like that, but you don't want to be playing like that. So we actually got the most kills in that game. Unfortunately the battle came to us. Yeah, couldn't really do anything apart from at the end. And this is not another example, but using the speed, or the lack of it, you kind of to your advantage. So there's been a bit of a brawl down here in the gorge on Kesserine Pass, and I'm just going to use TOG II to come in and mop up. So we get one kill there. I hit the rock, unfortunately, targeting the British Bulldog. Do close that one down. Artillery, there we go, targeting TOG straight away, and we get 3 kills, but only 200 damage. So it's you do get a lot of kills, like in the previous little example. We're not getting 4 kills, but hardly any damage. Not too sure what happened to that one. It didn't seem as... I think he fired from that ledge and then died. So just trying to shoot the artillery. The artillery, sure enough, fires. Come up here just to see if I can actually push these wrecks out of the way. Can't. Yeah, this is the thing, you make a little mistake like this in TOG, and yeah, it can really slow you down. Got the cruise control on again, and we're just going to march forward. So my idea is to go there. I'm telling my team that's where I'm going. I do find TOG is the only tank that I'll do that. I will ping the map and say I'm on my way there. Just so they know. We've got this object 244 coming down, tier 6. Hasn't noticed me, put a shot in. And I think with this one, you'll see that, I think a lot of people see the TOG and think you've got a big derp gun. So he just stays there, thinking he can beat my reload, and all of a sudden he's now realised that I'm significantly beating his reload. He's put 2 shots in. I think this is the 4th or maybe even the 5th shell that's gone. you can surprise people. I think a lot of people think you're a big derp gun, a big silly tank, and as soon as you fire, they'll be able to out reload you. But the gun is so fast, as you can see, 3.5 seconds I've got that down to. Sixth Sense is on, so always assume if there's artillery and you've got Sixth Sense on the TOG, you're going to get targeted by artillery. But we win that game. We don't do anything else after that. Just try and go and find the artillery, but they've all killed. Most kills in that game. Still don't get the fire for effect. It is quite tricky in TOG. But I do find that I tend to get lots of kills in it, but not so much damage. So this is the last replay. This is a full-length replay on mines. It's got a mixture of tier 6s and tier 5s, as you can see the Panzer IV going across. Yeah, I'm aiming to go around the eastern side of the hill. I just want to try and side scrape off and try and get onto that brawling area there. We've got another admirer here, the snakebite's having a look. But our light tanks light up the entire enemy team, seems to be firing into the hill. So I'm thinking at this point, if I go that way, then think I'm not really going to survive the approach up that hill, especially with 2 artillery. That's what I'm thinking at the moment. So I decide that I am going to carry on with my initial plan and go around the eastern side of the mountain. But then I'm looking at the map, there's 4 heavy tanks and that light tank going that way. I don't think I'm going to get any damage in time. So I decide that I'm going to go for it. So I'm going to charge the hill and put the cruise control on. At this point I'm thinking I'm YOLOing. I think that this is why this tank's so funny to play, because you have to pre-plan so far in advance, and you have to do such silly plays sometimes, like this. I really shouldn't be going this way with 2 artillery in the game, but I have to, otherwise I won't get any damage. So I think on this one as well, this KV-85, I think later on, I think he does the same mistake that the previous tank in the last battle did. I think he assumed that I've got a really long reload, so he pokes out and just sort of stays there, and then once he realises that I'm actually out reloading him, then he starts falling back. But we've got this light tank here. I think it's trying to get the gun depression to have a shot at us. We are quite slap-sided to him, so I'm just angling slightly. Not forgetting the KV-85, but the KV-85 comes round, I put a shot in, and now he's realised that I'm going to beat his reload. I think he stayed there thinking he could get the shot off before I was reloaded, but as I said, 3.7 with the food. Yeah, you're going to out DPM a lot of tanks you come up against. The light tank gives it up and drops down, and the TV at the back shuts it down. So at this point I'm just risking it. I'm having to go. There's some heavy tanks up there that I want to get some damage into, and here is the example of what I was saying. Like, it doesn't look like you can fire around the corner, but you can. Get ammo racked, unfortunately. Just put the repair on. It comes round. Obviously I think this one thought I was on a massive long reload as well, and he makes the mistake. Again, not too sure if that DK-3001 thought I was having a long reload and decided he was going to chance it, but yeah, the rate of fire on this is really good, really good. I do really enjoy this tank. This Oni is here, just trying to angle, just hopefully the tracks can take the hit, but yeah, with the optics damage, I think he was actually targeting the turret. And there we go, we get shut down by artillery. So yeah, always be aware of artillery. Not too sure. I was just having a look, thinking, how did it shoot over that? Don't know. With artillery, I tend to ignore it that it's in the game, unless I'm in a really obvious spot. But there, with that sort of hill there, I felt fairly safe, but obviously not. This tank is, I think, trying to use TOG as a mobile bit of cover. Didn't work out. So we lose that one. We get the most hits, which is always good to get. And we got the first class on that one. So that really was just, didn't really look like it, but we were sort of YOLOing the hill there. And hopefully you saw that there was at least, I would say, maybe 2 tanks in there that underestimated the reload, and they poked to put a shot into me when they shouldn't really have. I think they were just assuming, you know, big city tank, you know, he's got a massive long reload. So yeah, hopefully that was useful. I think TOG II is a really good tank. It's so slow, but obviously you probably know that anyway, just by looking at it, to be honest. But yeah, I think it is a really good tank. The gun is, I think it's one of my favourite guns in the game. Combine that with the preferential matchmaking as well, so it never sees tier 8s. You only ever see tier 7s. And combine that with the amount of people that play tier 5, there'll always be quite a few tier 6s in your game. You're more likely, I find with TOG, that you'll be top tier in a sort of a 5-6 type of game. So yeah, it is one I play if I feel like a bit of +1 -1 matchmaking when that event's not on. So yeah, I got this in I think it was a weekly offer. I think it's definitely worth it at half price. And yeah, hopefully you found that useful. I do recommend getting it. It's a great gun, just so slow.